Donald Cowboy Cerrone facing off against Alex Great White Shark or Great White Morono. Either way, man, Morono stepping in on very short notice, replacing Diego Nightmare Sanchez because he was unceremoniously released from the UFC on his retirement fight. We don't even need to go into the craziness that is, you know what I mean, that situation. But I do want to say this, man. Donald Cerrone, he made a note that he does not want to be fighting at welterweight. He wants to be fighting at lightweight, and he's really kind of annoyed that he has to take this fight because at the end of the day, this does nothing for him. Win or lose, this does absolutely nothing for him or his career. He's ranked in the lightweight division, not ranked in the welterweight division. And listen, man, let me give a little bit of context first, AJ. So the context behind Cowboy Cerrone, who everybody should know. If you don't know, you truly have not been watching any UFC ever because he's been here from like the jump, right? Damn near. 10 knockouts, 17 submissions, 9 decisions. He's 36-15 in his MMA career, dude. That is, my math is a little slow. That's like 40 fights, 40 plus fights. Ridiculous, right? 23-12 in the UFC. But this is the thing we need to know. There's two tales of Donald Cerrone. There's the lightweight Donald Cerrone, and then there's the welterweight Donald Cerrone, like I just mentioned, right? 17-6 at 155 pounds, which is where Donald Cerrone started his career off. 6-6 with one no contest at welterweight, and it's been a really tough string of luck for Donald Cerrone pretty much recently, man. Now, Alex Morono is a young killer, 30-year-old killer, right? Donald Cerrone's 38, you know, for context, a little bit older, right? BJJ black belt, Taekwondo black belt, one-time fight of the night winner against Song Kanong, former Legacy FC 170 champion, losing that last fight to Showtime Pettis in Showtime Pettis' last fight in the UFC, man. I really thought Morono was going to get the job done. I thought he was going to play spoiler. It didn't work out there, man. But he's got some pretty, you know what I mean? Some notable wins, right? Reese McKee, not really, but Max Griffin, that's a notable win. You know, Zach Otto, that's a notable win. What do you think about this matchup, man? I have the big question surrounding this, and I want to cover this one kind of quickly so we can move on to the main event. The big catalyst surrounding this matchup is that we don't know what that training camp is looking like for Morono. This is short notice. Like, I don't know what his cardio is looking like. And Donald Cerrone, in his last fight against Nico Price, he was tough all 3 rounds through, man. It ended up in a no contest. We could talk about it in a second, but give me your take, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big question, right? Late game replacement, in Alex Morono. But he was saying that in his pre-fight presser that he's actually ready. A lot of his teams are fighting. He just competed in a in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match or a tournament, so he's gonna be ready. I mean, he's been coaching. It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. But the big thing to me is if Donald Cerrone actually shows up. If the BMF shows up to fight, this is gonna be a scrap, man. And I mean, you alluded to it earlier. He doesn't really have anything to fight for. He doesn't have any stake in the 170-pound division. So I actually think that's a pro. He doesn't have anything to lose. Before, when he was a little nervous, he was on that 4-fight losing streak. You know, he had a little bit of tension going in. But now he's like, fuck it, dude, let's just throw hands. You know, like, I don't really win or lose. 170 doesn't matter to me. He made a statement in his pre-fight presser that his stipulation, caught something, brother. It was a stipulation in his contract with Dana that this fight doesn't really mean anything. Like, I'm not, if I lose, I'm not, on a five-fight losing streak. I still have another fight after this. Yeah. So with that assurance going in, he might see some old school BMF show up.
Yeah.
Now, to me, Alex Morono is that younger Donald Cerrone. That's kind of what I liked about him, man. He's that younger Donald Cerrone. He is down to put his foot in the tire and just swing the phone booth, and that's why I like him. Man, it's gonna be a fun fight.
I think it's going to be a banger. And just to clarify on what Dana White had said in regard to Donald Cerrone, he basically had noted that, like, listen, man, you've never given me an issue. You're the dude who always shows up, always takes the fights, is always filling in, kind of that Kevin Holland style. Short notice fight, Angela Hill, Kevin Holland style. All right, good. And Donald Cerrone said, he was like, man, I'm glad Morono took the fight, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, Dana White says, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to punish you based on your decision for this fight. So he says, hey, man, I can't be the dude who's always talking about I'll take a fight against anyone, anywhere, and then be like, yeah, except this time, right? Like, you can't do that. You got to be the real BMFer, right? Training out of the BMF ranch. Dude trains by himself, basically, at this point. No more Jackson Winks out there. But he's facing off against Saif Saud, man. Come on. Alex Morono in that Fortis MMA camp is going to be very dangerous. And he's a killer. The only problem I have with Morono is that he lacks that MMA experience in terms of just, he doesn't have enough data. Not nearly as much as Donald Cerrone. And he got caught against Showtime Pettis, who was also another tricky dude to fight. Kind of similar to Wonderboy with that kind of karate style, right? He falls falls into the trap of following his opponent sometimes, right? And that's what you don't want to do. That's what Amanda Hebos did against Marina Rodriguez, right? Just kind of followed her around in an endless circle instead of cutting off the cage. And that's what you don't want if you're Morono. Now, I will have to say, in Donald Cerrone's last fight against Nico Price, it was very competitive, but Price was putting it on him for all 3 rounds. I will say Donald Cerrone wasn't winning the fight, but he was in there, and it was a dogfight. It's not nearly as bad as people would make it seem, man. And he messed up, what's his name? I was just talking, Nico Price. There we go. He messed up the hybrid's face bad, man. Now it gets overturned to a no contest simply because Nico Price popped for marijuana, which is now no longer a violation. So, in all honesty, Donald Cerrone's on a 5-fight losing streak, man. I don't know if he turns it around here, man. But I know that he's going to sit out there. He got the beard, right? He went full bald last fight. He got the beard now. I think he's ready to get out there and make it happen. At the end of the day, Cowboy, most finishes in UFC history with 16, most knockdowns in UFC history with 20. And come on, man. Alex Morono is looking to play spoiler. He says, I'm going to try to kill the man on Saturday, and he can have his retirement fight after if he wants to. But at the end of the day, I'm looking to take somebody's head off of their shoulders. I'm going Alex Morono simply because how often do you get an opportunity like this, AJ, being young in your career? No real notable wins in your career. Like I said, losing against Anthony Pettis was pretty tough, and that would have been a big win for him. You don't get many opportunities to fight a legend like this in Donald Cerrone, and if you can knock him out, if you could really put Cerrone away, man, that skyrockets Alex Morono in terms of fan stock, in terms of his popularity. So I'm going Alex Morono, and I'm going to go, I'm going a lot of decisions on this fight, but I'm going decision again because Cerrone is tough to get out of there, man. He's really tough to get out of there. So give me your pick. Yeah,
no, I agree with you, and I definitely think Morono is going to be fine. I don't think we have to worry about that, even though it is a late fight replacement. But I do think that if he wants to get the win, he's going to need to get a KO win. I don't know if Donald Cerrone is going to be able to, are going to be make it interesting early in the beginning. He was saying that he's going to come out prepped, ready to fight, going to do 2 rounds in the back. But we've known he's a slow starter. So I think if Alex Morono wants to get that win, he's going to need to capitalize on that aspect. But personally, this was another hard one for me, man. I'm going Donald Cerrone by decision. I think the vet's going to come out. I think he's going to grind it out. I think he's going to get a good win. We're going to see a good KO or a kickboxing match, excuse me. But this one's a hard one for me, man. I'm not as confident in this one, but I'm hoping for a Donald Cerrone decision win at the end of the night.
I don't think that you should be too worried about this one because there's a real possibility of Cerrone winning this fight. In my way, I forgot to mention this, so now I'll mention it before we move on. Donald Cerrone in round 3 against Nico Price, man, he took Price's back and he had him in trouble in terms of a submission, man. And I think that's the strategy if you're Donald Cerrone. You say, I got this young kid who's going to try to take my head off, pressure me the same way Nico Price pressured me. What do I need to do to counteract that pressure is use his pressure against him, take the back, submit him, man. Now, Alex Morono has never been submitted, but Donald Cerrone, 17 submissions, man. You don't get that just playing around, man. Like he's a real ace. He's a BJJ black belt under Elliot Marshall, man. So I mean, there's something to be said there. But like I said, Morono's a black belt as well. So.